Fufu or swallow from plantains, green plantains, has become quite popular today. Hello friends and welcome back to the AfroFood Diary. My name is Geraldine, and in today's episode I'll be showing you two mistakes one can make while trying to make plantain fufu and how to avoid that. Okay? Yeah, in today's episode I wouldn't be showing you that perfect fufu. I will show you the common mistakes that someone out there can make and how to avoid it or how to correct it when made. All we need, friends, is two green plantains. Green plantains is what you need for this and not the ripe ones, okay? So, and of course, you want to wash it thoroughly, wash it very well. If possible, use a sponge and wash it very well before cutting it open. And when you're done cutting it, slice it into tiny pieces. And here comes the first mistake. The amount of water you use in blending this, if you blend it to be fluid like this, like what I have here, as if you're making moi moi, then you might end up with a runny fufu. Okay, so this is our first mistake is made, and we're going to correct it along the way. Make sure you don't skip any part of this video if you want to learn the lesson for today. So the second mistake is allowing the fufu to start boiling before you start turning it. So the mistake is made. How do we correct it? First, I think this is the perfect time to talk about the kind of turner you have. You know, this stick I'm using to turn this, it is very, very important, but I can't tell you to use the one I'm using or use the one I'm not using. I would say if you're starting out for the first time, buy at least two sticks of different types and try out the two. Find one that your hand is more comfortable with. That way your problem is half solved. Now the business we're in now is to get those tiny crumbs that has formed in our fufu out of the way. Okay, so this is where you start to vigorously turn it. Keep turning it. Do not lose heart when you see those crumbs. If you keep turning it, it will get smoother over time. Okay, so make sure you don't stop turning it. Like you can see here, see, it's already getting smooth, and this is like after 3-4 minutes of constant stirring. You turn and crush everything in there until it comes out smooth. So another thing is to make sure it is cooked. Yeah, back to the watery fufu. The first mistake, how we correct it, is also part of what I'm doing now. So you make sure your fufu is cooked. Normally, when you leave plantain fufu after making it, if you just keep it open for a bit, it kind of foams up, okay? But when you've made the mistake of making it too watery, that it can't really get that very, very firm, even when you leave it to cool down for a while, this is what you would do, okay? Stay tuned. So now the fufu, the lumps are out of the way, and to handle the fluidiness, like the wateriness, I'll sprinkle in some semolina. Okay, so this is what is going to help us to hold it together. And remember, in as much as we're aiming for low carb fufu, a few teaspoons or a tablespoon of this semolina is not going to give you sudden sugar spikes, okay? Except if, for example, you already have a predisposing condition and you are supposed to strictly keep to the fufu diet, the low carb diet, okay? So, but if you have none of that and you just want to enjoy some plantain fufu and then you make this mistake, how you can correct it is sprinkling some semolina. You can as well sprinkle in any regular fufu flour you have around you, okay, and firm it up with it, okay? So be sure not to use too much of it though, and you can see what I'm doing here. It's still very, very soft at this point, but it's okay. The texture is enough. Remember, I mentioned that when this cools down, it's going to get firm, okay? So what we're going to do now is mixing the semolina very, very well into the fufu. Remember, at this point, our plantain was already cooked before I sprinkled on the semolina. and then I'm going to be letting the two of them cook together for an extra 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so the time it takes for our plantain to get done, it will change color from that very light cream to this darker this brownish nature. Okay, that is how you know it's done, and that took somewhere between 6 to 8 minutes, okay, of constant stirring. If you have mortar and pestle, it makes your work easier. You don't have to do all this. You can just boil your plantains and pound it until it's very, very smooth. So after 3 minutes, this is what we have here. We have a fame fufu. Okay, so I'll give it one last stir, one last mix. Actually, it's not stirring, and then I'll taste one more time. Yeah, I taste it to be sure that it's properly cooked, and it is, in fact. So a bonus tip is to have water handy, okay? When you touch your toner in water before trying to scoop your swallow, it makes the work easier. It will not be doing yama yama, okay? So what I'm doing now is to put it in plastic wraps because we wouldn't be eating this immediately, okay? But if you're eating yours immediately, like I said, just serve it in your plate and let it sit for say 2 to 3 minutes to cool down, and when it cools down a little bit, it kind of becomes even firmer. But if you're like me that loves it really, really soft and you want to preserve its softness, please wrap it in this cling film until you're ready to eat them. Okay, and please, if you're not going to eat this in the next 5 minutes at most, please do not leave it open, okay? Otherwise you will end up with rock by the time you are ready to eat it. And for the pots, for easy washing, just pour some water in the pot you use in making this. Just cover the bottom with some water and turn on your heat again, okay? Bring it to a boil and then turn off your stove, and you'll be able to wash everything off without hassle. That is it for our today's tutorial. Thank you for hanging on with me. Continuing our appreciations, thank you so much Gift Samson TV, Sherlyn Adams, Share with Love TV, Hertikem, Janet Anuku, Scissors Diaries, Wadito Chats, Amitonia, God's Time, God's Love, Sarah Pretty TV Show, Efegene Dora, Cynthia Boateng, Prosperlite Kitchen TV, Canny Banks, Fumi Vale, the 4R's Thrifting, This Kateng Basic, Misobeemi, Gracie's World, Ngozi Atiti Vlogs, Julie City, All Things Lolly, Rejoice Screen, Nurse JT, Iyawo Ola Vlogs, In This World, Lady FK Kitchen, Gang Beauty TV, Pat G Empire Gender Selection, Deborah Love TV, Saraya Kitchen, Hallie's Healthy Choice, Sikiru Atinuke TV, Wendy Waju4, Lulu's Corner, and the host of you guys. I'm bound to either make a mistake, so I will still come back in my coming videos. Whoever I see or found out, I will appreciate. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.